Greetings and welcome. Thank you for stopping by here on YouTube Live. If you are logging in live this glorious Tuesday, August the 16th, 2022, at the one and only, raw, rare, real, and tried and true, Bloom from Within Love, I go by Bloomy. I want to send my love and my light and my positive vibes and shout outs to every last one of you who are my faithful viewers and subscribers, whether you are a returning viewer and subscriber or a newbie. To those of you that have truly been divinely guided in love and light and positive vibes and come in with pure, benevolent intentions towards me, what I do here, as well as the collective that shares in the journey. To you all, I wish you well. To you all, I'm sending that energy right back at you, and may all of the beautiful energy you've extended be somehow manifested and reflected back into your own reality. My intention in all directions of time and space is that whatever individuals come towards me with, that they shall get. Whether this is energetically, subliminally, in social media, in the 3D, no matter which way, shape, form, or fashion. So, in other words, whatever thoughts, words, deeds, prayers, rituals, and practices, plans, and strategies that are being projected out towards me, Bloom from Within Love, my son, this journey, and my life, you shall receive that immediately, and it shall be amplified to you. So, in other words, no harm, no foul. This is my safety net. If you're coming towards me in love and light and benevolent energy, then there's no harm, no foul. But if you're coming in anything different, then you will essentially receive that amplified to the fullest extent in judicial law on earth and in the ethers. And so it shall be. Now, as you guys see in the title, the family, I think I put something along the lines of about the family, divine feminine's role. And so as I was going about my day, and you guys please forgive me, because chances are you're going to hear some background stuffs, okay? I just got back to the house, and I put a load in real quick as I'm still doing stuff on the computer. I'm zooming around here and there. And so you guys are going to probably hear a whole lot of everything in the background. And so if that's a little bit annoying for you, my apologies. I do have other more polished videos, but these are usually not the ones that are going to be polished, okay? So some of you collective, if you're on a similar journey as myself, you lived a life a certain way for a very long time before your awakening. And so after your awakening, a lot of the strategies of these people that are asleep, narcissistic, karmics, abusive, dark witches and warlocks, whatever it is, religious narcs, they're going to be, desperate times result them to desperate measures. So they're going to be going about saying, they're just selective memory. I remember once upon a time I did this and that, and I remember they gave me a birthday card or a Christmas card or a Mother's Day, Father's Day card, or whatever, and they were saying how wonderful I was and all of this and that, right? So here's the behind the divine feminine's role. I can speak for myself, and I'm sure this is going to be similar for some of you. I have always known that something was wrong since I was a child. I've always known it. But the thing about this 3D, no one takes children seriously. You're just a child, and you're just this and that, and, blah, 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 blah. So I always knew that there was offness about my family, about my environment, about a lot of things. As I grew up and became a teenager and a young woman, so I had unique ways thinking that if I were giving them certain birthday cards, notes, if I were to affirm them, that they would become what I was saying. I thought that if I were to say wonderful things to them about them, that they would step into behaving that way. The problem is it never happens. Okay? Because these people they're not here for healing and all of that. They like the stroking, which is typical of a narcissistic issue. But they're not here to actually be that. Now, I thought along the way that by highlighting good attributes of what I would want to see in a good mother, a good father, a good sister, a good brother, a good friend, a good lover, I thought by amplifying that to them, then that I would see that energy in them and that they would step into it because I was highlighting it. Whether it be, I gave them a card and said, "Oh, you're the most wonderful mother on the earth," and "Oh, you're so," and they were never that. Okay, let's just make this clear. They were never that. They were never that. But by doing that, always hoping and wishing. And what brought this on today is, like, as I was looking at a couple of other shows, as I was going about and glancing at the screen and so forth, we're drawn to stuff, you guys, because it's usually when we're young, because it's something that we wish. So whether it was the Cosby Show, Gilmore Girls, different things like that, is because chances are our dynamics was on the polar opposite side of what we were looking at. And we fantasized and we wondered if that's even a possibility. Does it even exist beyond the TV, right? Do people have healthy, loving connections that are real and mutually reciprocal, right? So, because my family are spiritual, religious, and communal narcs, they gave off the appearances of being these kind, generous, benevolent, selfless, charitable people. Okay? But their behavior, their actions, their motives, their secrets, all the other stuff that they keep cleverly hidden from the world, I received. So, can you guys see where cognitive dissonance kicks in for us early? Because it's mixed signals. You have a family that portrays to be a loving family to the world and does certain things on external, but they're toxic and abusive and is attempting to kill and sabotage you every step of the way. It's mixed signals. So I commenced, like most of you probably did in your early childhood and your young adulthood, you thought that if you said positive, loving things, then they will then mount up, but they don't. If you gave them a card and told them about being a motherful mother, you thought that by virtue of giving them that card, reminding them of what true mothers are, then that they would mount up, but they don't. They like the stroking of that. They want to feel that way. They like the illusion of, wishing they were that way and trying to portray themselves that way, but they don't actually mount up. So to debunk and collective, if you're the high vibers, then you already know, but this is going to help other people catch up behind you. Because this is what they do. I call it Operation Desperado. This is what they reduce themselves to when all of their illusions are shattering. They go into the to the archives and shit, bitch, and put out some old dusty cards that you gave them back in 2013. But see, the divine feminine has been divine feminine the whole time. And in her asleep state, even in her asleep state, unhealed state, that soul was hoping, if you point people to the direction of what's actually loving and healthy, maybe they will become it. If you make nice to them, and if you highlight and stroke all of the beautiful, wonderful attributes in which is a healthy mother, a healthy father, a healthy sister, a healthy brother, then maybe, just maybe, they'll actually be it. But that does not work for karmics, mentally ill, or narcissists, whatever you want to call it, because they have no intention. They just want to believe that to be true about themselves. But they have no intention of actually honing in that frequency and being what that card says. They like to believe in their disillusioned state that they are. But they have no intention, none, zero, zilch, nada, on actually honing. So what they'll do is they'll go about scrambling about to anyone who's willing to listen, pulling up the archives about all of their so-called acts of love and kindness, about every card or gift or whatever a divine feminine could have possibly given them over the years. So I'm revealing the role of the divine feminine and why she ever did it to begin with. It was never because she actually saw them as that. She was hoping that it would point them in the direction of becoming that. Highlighting what true motherhood is, highlighting what true fatherhood is, highlighting what a true good big sister or brother is, not the fake shit. She discovers over time that it doesn't work. Healing is a choice. Transformation is a choice. Being introspective is a choice. Mentally ills usually don't do that. Narcissistic personality types, they almost can't do it. Karmics, if they push, hear me out, you guys, because see, believe it or not, I'm going to say this, believe it or not, every single individual walking, whether they are showing privy to this or not, every individual on earth walking at some point are given opportunities before they take the last breath. It's a part of their own soul's contracts. Opportunities to blue pill or red. There are opportunities to fulfill the process of whatever soul level they're on in a more healthier, benevolent way, or stay in the blue pill and all that implies. So when individuals have pushed for whatever reason, okay, this is what they become. So it's not a lack of, it's not about favoritism or a lack of opportunities, or it's choice. Because both divines and karmics alike, whatever we want to call it, everybody comes here with a slew of trauma. You can bet your bottom dollar every last one of us. Divine feminine was equally traumatized as her karmic counterparts. But she went to the other side of the transformative process than they did. They became addicted and enamored with all things 3D. Obsessed with a twin flame journey. start dibbling and dabbling in things that they know nothing about, that they didn't see the fine red print in the book, bitch. You know what I'm saying? They didn't see the claws on the side, bitch, when they was doing the crazy shit. You know, divine feminine opted the long route. They call it the warrior's path, because most folks are too cowardly to do it. But everything that divine feminine, has ever in her journey, if she gave people cards and shit, bitch, with sayings and things like that, I promise you this. She was highlighting an attribute needed, not an attribute that was present. She wanted more love and support, so she probably gave them cards talking about what a loving mother, because the horror wasn't. Or father, because his ass ain't off the hook either. Something special for him too. So if you guys are outsiders looking in, and you're one of the, I'll try to be kind here, Lighting. You're one of the individuals that these people start scaring about going to convince you. Learn how to think beyond first glance is the advice. Educate yourself beyond a Sunday sermon or a Reiki session, whatever your bent is, but stretch. Investigate the phenomenon for yourself of narcissism, and not the loose way that we hear it in society now, that everybody refers to that when they're talking about somebody who's just a little bit vain or just a little bit self-centered. That's not what narcissism is. We all have that version to a degree. We're talking about the malignant, insidious nature behind narcissism. This will broaden your understanding of life, and it will broaden your understanding of what has actually taken place in situations versus what narcissists want you to believe has taken place. Is the earth round or flat? And you know what the answer to that is going to be? Depends on what year you're in. Once upon a time, the facts, according to the known scientists of the day, the brilliant minds of the day, at that point in history, the answer was the earth is flat. Why am I using that? Because this is humbling. All I can tell you guys is, at least for me, it's humbling, bitch. It's humbling because it's a reminder about the ever-changing world. It's a reminder about how history has unfolded over and over again and how with each dispensation, era, or generation, everybody's always absolute and later proven wrong. Narcissists are master illusionists. That is their power. That's all they have. This is why truth and knowledge scares the bejesus out of them. All they have is their illusions and their tricks and their games. If you're on the outside looking in, it'll serve you and yours. First and foremost, don't get involved. Get out the way. Because then you'll get hurt. Why am I saying that? Because karma, cause and effect, or whatever verbiage is that are comfortable with you, either way, don't matter. What goes around comes around, however, whatever your get down is, don't matter. It's coming. Nothing is quite as it seems. It takes a humble mind and person to even be able to accept that. So before you jump on a bandwagon as you listen to some narcissists, I advise I don't care what your belief system is. Doesn't matter. I advise you to get out the way. I advise you to not get yourself involved, ending up putting you and what's near and dear to you in harm's way as a result of getting involved with a narcissist and becoming one of the pawns they use to come against other people's lives. You will suffer. Whatever you have left on the earth will suffer. As a divine feminine, me saying this is my act of compassion to the ignorant. To those who don't mean any harm and know no better, but allow themselves to get entangled with narcissistic individuals. Your loyalty to the narcissist will cost you. And that's not going to be my fault, nor the collective's fault. That is the universe, that is source, that is them top dogs executing justice. That is ancestors executing justice on behalf of divine beings that have been violated one too many times behind a narcissist that can't accept no for an answer, that does not know how to let go and move on, that is a sore loser. See, in the Divine Feminine's life, she never had the problem with losing things and moving on. She's actually mastered this. She's had such heinous things around her from the beginning that she has mastered losing things and letting go. This has become a superpower. She is not attached. So what people did and threw at her to destroy her became the foundation of her superpower, because she's not addicted, ruled and governed by this 3D shit. Divine Feminine masters moving on and living on and creating. The issue is people get upset with her doing just that. That's the real truth. They're triggered by her ability to do that. They're triggered. And in some cases, these people are triggered because their vigils are exposed as Divine Feminine does this. But if you didn't have fuckery to begin with, you wouldn't have anything to worry about, would you? Listen, the Divine Feminines that I'm referring to, including myself, don't mean harm to nobody. We live our lives, we go on. But the hours come where we're not going to lay down for nobody. We're not going to shut up for nobody. If they take one thing down, we'll build up another one. We're not going to shut up, and we're not going to go away. And we are going to stand up and fight, and we are going to defend ourselves. As simple as that. So if that means exposure to the fuckery about our own family, then so be it. If it means exposure to religion, then so be it. If it means exposure to distorted spiritualists, then so be it. If it means exposure to people who posed as their friends and lovers, then so be it. But Divine Feminines will tell their story, no matter who don't want it heard. And will fight for their lives and their children, because these people, these narcissistic people, family members, friends and groups, and yada yada, has violated the boundaries of these Divine Feminines in their lives one too many times. These people have stolen from Divine Feminine and their children. They have forged their names. They have stolen their monies, properties, intellectual creative property. These individuals are sick and have done things one too many times. Then, worse yet, they still hold back and they don't even have remorse. So Divine Feminine is not a lick of remorseful about anything that she has exposed. And she will never be. And she will never go away. And she will never shut up. They can cyber stalk and troll all they want. They can get together in groups all they want. Divine Feminine says if they tear one thing down, she'll build it back up in 3 days. She is not going anywhere until she's good and ready. But back to the topic at hand, you guys. When people are bringing out all these cards and notes that Divine Feminine ever gave these individuals at some point in history. Know that Divine Feminine did that because she was hoping that by showing people what a true lover, a true friend, a true husband, a true wife, a true mother, a true father, a true sister, a true brother, or whatever that is, showing them what that looks like, hoping that they would embody that energy. It wasn't because that energy was present. It was because it was lacking.